Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ZeeMystery, a channel where we do not chase rumors, conspiracy noise, or internet myths. Here, we follow facts, verified evidence, scientific data, and documented records to uncover the truth behind the world's greatest mysteries. Today's video is not just about a missing airplane. It is about human decisions, silent moments inside a cockpit, advanced aviation technology, and a mystery so deep that even the modern world failed to solve it completely. This story demands your patience because the truth of MH370 is not simple, and it is not comfortable. A normal night that turned into history. March 8, 2014. Kuala Lumpur International Airport looked exactly like it does on any other night. Announcements echoed through the terminal. Passengers walked slowly with carry-on bags. Some were sleepy, some excited, some emotionally saying goodbye to loved ones. Among them were families returning home to China, business travelers heading to meetings, students, tourists, and children. No one knew that within hours, these 239 people would become part of the greatest aviation mystery in human history. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 was not an old or unreliable airplane. It was a Boeing 777-200ER, one of the most trusted long-haul aircraft ever built. This plane was designed for intercontinental flights, equipped with redundant safety systems, operated daily by airlines across the world. A Boeing 777 simply does not vanish without leaving answers. That is why, when MH370 disappeared, experts initially said, this aircraft cannot just disappear. But it did. The captain of MH370 was Zahari Ahmed Shah, a senior pilot with thousands of flight hours and extensive experience on the Boeing 777. The co-pilot was also fully certified and trained. Inside the cockpit, every system was accessible. Every communication channel was under manual control. Every navigation change required deliberate action. It is critical to understand this. A Boeing 777 does not make complex decisions on its own. Those decisions are made by humans inside the cockpit. At 12:41 a.m., MH370 took off from Kuala Lumpur. Weather conditions were normal. Engines performed perfectly. No alarms, no warnings, no distress signals. Air traffic control recorded the flight as completely routine. This was the last moment when MH370 looked like any other flight. At 1:19 a.m., as the aircraft approached Vietnamese airspace, the pilot transmitted his final words to air traffic control. "Good night, Malaysian 370. The voice was calm. The tone was professional. There was no indication of stress or emergency. But immediately after this message, MH370 entered complete silence. Seconds after the final radio call, the aircraft's transponder stopped transmitting. Civilian radar systems lost the plane instantly. This is not a technical failure that happens accidentally. A transponder does not shut down on its own, does not fail silently, must be manually disabled from the cockpit. This moment changed everything. It meant one thing clearly. Someone intentionally turned the aircraft invisible to civilian radar. Although civilian radar lost MH370, Malaysian military radar did not. Military radar data revealed something shocking. MH370 made a sharp turn to the west. It abandoned its original flight path. It crossed back over Malaysia. It passed near Penang Island, then continued toward the Andaman Sea. This maneuver was smooth, controlled, precisely executed. Not random, not accidental. This proved beyond doubt. The aircraft was still under active human control. As the world assumed MH370 had crashed early, a British satellite company called Inmarsat changed everything. Their satellites were not tracking the plane's position. They were doing something simpler and far more powerful. Every hour, MH370's satellite communication system exchanged an automatic electronic handshake with the satellite. This handshake does not require pilot input, happens automatically, confirms that the aircraft is still powered and airborne. Investigators confirmed that MH370 completed one handshake, then another, then another. In total, 7 satellite handshakes occurred. The final handshake happened at 8:19 a.m. This means MH370 did not crash shortly after disappearing. It continued flying for 7 hours and 37 minutes. This fact alone destroyed dozens of early theories. Boeing 777 fuel consumption is predictable. Experts analyzed fuel loaded at departure, engine burn rates, airspeed and altitude, flight duration. Their conclusion was precise. At 8:19 a.m., the aircraft ran out of fuel. That final satellite handshake marks the moment when engines flamed out, electronic systems failed, the aircraft became uncontrollable. Satellite data created two possible flight arcs, one heading north, one heading south. The northern route would have crossed multiple countries with active radar systems. No radar detections were reported. The southern route led into empty skies, remote ocean, one of the most isolated regions on Earth. All evidence pointed in one direction, the southern Indian Ocean. This region is thousands of meters deep, constantly storm-ridden, almost impossible to search. It is a place where ships disappear, a place where wreckage sinks forever. This is where investigators believe MH370 ended its journey. Years later, debris began to appear. Aircraft parts were found on Reunion Island, Mozambique, Tanzania. The most important piece was the flaperon. Laboratory analysis confirmed it belonged to MH370. Damage patterns showed high energy impact with water. Control surfaces indicated no pilot input at impact. This matched the fuel exhaustion theory perfectly. This documentary does not accuse. It does not speculate irresponsibly. But the evidence shows manual system shutdowns, complex navigation changes, radar avoidance, precise fuel endurance. These actions require an experienced human hand. 239 lives vanished into the ocean. 239 families were left without closure. MH370 was not lost by accident. It was not destroyed suddenly. It was a long, silent, controlled flight into the unknown. The ocean took the aircraft, but the questions remain above the surface. If you want a detailed reconstruction of the final 30 minutes, psychological analysis of the cockpit, or classified details rarely discussed, let us know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to ZeeMystery, because here, we don't sell fear, we reveal truth.